plays out now?
After watching the video, going back through the video several times yesterday, that was a tough one. That was a tough loss right there. To basically lead then most of the game, have the lead and not be able to capitalize on some opportunities that we had late in the third, early fourth was kind of what stood out to me the most. I thought we played, my initial reaction after the game was pretty much, on target to what, after watching video, I thought we played extremely hard. I thought our offensive line, which going against their defensive front and the depth, the quality depth that those guys have, I thought they played well. I thought there was some areas in the interior that we had some breakdowns, but I thought Gift Timothy and Brandon Thomas played really well, and Dalton Freeman. I thought our guard play was okay. I mean, we've had better guard play, but I think it has a credit to do with the guys that were rotating in as well. We kind of lost some edge there, at some critical times, especially in those three little key series there. But they played hard. They fought hard. Taj Boyd played. My initial thought was he battled, he scrapped, he was a warrior, and it was true. I mean, he filmed in line. I mean, our ability to convert third and short and fourth and short again has been a big positive for us this year. We were 3 of 4 on third and 1 to 2. And the one we didn't convert was the one that we took a shot with Sammy throwing to Adam and overthrew him, and that very well could have been a touchdown. So each one of the third and shorts that we converted led to a touchdown, which was key. That was going in. We felt like we had to win that down, that specific part of it to keep drives alive, and we did that with Taj Boyd running the football. And our offensive line blocking, and Darryl and Sam Cooper, I thought, did a really good job as well coming in. Brandon Ford probably played his best game of the year. He was probably as physical as anybody we had, and so I was pleased to see that. A lot of positives out of this game that we can build on. And again, I go back to those three drives there. There are 3 series there that we had a fumble, we had a drop ball on third down. And then we had a sack on one of them. I believe it was one of them. Those 3 series, that was a prime opportune time that we could have taken the crowd back out of the game, and we didn't get it done.
How difficult is it to prepare and to go through a game realizing that you're almost going to have to be perfect to be able to win?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to be perfect. I mean, let's just get that straight out. You're not going to be perfect. And our guys, we're going to put our guys in situations to be successful, and they study film too, and they got coaches too, and they're going to play hard too, and they're going to win a few of those little battles that you have. And so our job as an offensive unit is to score one more point than they have, whether that's 60, whether that's 10. That's what our job is, and I think it's important that we all understand that we're put out there to do a job. I'm put out there to do a job, put our players in a situation to be successful and put points on the board, and for us to win ball games. And we didn't get it done. We had opportunities to get it done. We had 3 series to get it done that we didn't. And I'm very proud of our players for how they played, and just the scrappiness and the battle that they had. We look back going through we had very, very, very few. We might have 1 or 2 loafs of a player that might have let up right before whistle blew, or we missed assignments were just almost, I think we had 1. And so, they were playing at a high level, but we had 3 series in there that, man, and it wasn't on them. It wasn't all on them. There was a bad play call in there. I called a couple bad plays. And you can't go into a ball game thinking that you can be perfect, because you're not. But I do know this: we're going to go into every ball game with an intent to have a great plan, and we're going to put points on the board. I mean, we're going to do that, and I don't care who we play. That's just what we do. That's what we're going to do, and that's the confidence level that our guys have got to play at. And so I'm proud of the way they played. But when we had to have the opportunity to make something happen, we didn't get it done, and it wasn't all on our players. I mean, I'll take some responsibility for that. I mean, I called a couple bad plays in those 3 key series.
What's your initial thoughts on Boston College?
Boston College, they're going to be where they're supposed to be. They're very well coached. They're physical. They're big. And that's they're coming in off an open week, so they had 2 weeks to prepare for us, and I'm sure that we're going to see some things that they've been working on that we hadn't seen yet to this point, or they didn't show last year. But everybody tells me that Clemson hasn't played very well up there, and I've never been up there, so I don't know that. But I really don't care. I mean, that's then. This is now. It's this is that was another team. This is a new team, and it's about what we do, and I think that's the mentality that our players have got to have when you go in there. It doesn't matter where we go, who we play against. We go up there, and we're going to play, and they'll be ready. They'll be ready, and we can't wait to get back on the field this afternoon.
When you, as a play caller, you see a situation like the other night where the other team's offense is kind of scoring at will and keeping up with you, do you go about thinking maybe slow down your tempo just a little bit to kind of maybe help out the defense?
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a great question. Matter of fact, you as you look at things like that, and you go through the score and you look at it and you go up 28. I think we're up 28-14, and then I think the next time we got back on the field it was 28-21, something like that, or. And they're everybody, they're reeling and trying to make some play, make something happen, get a stop. I thought our tempo, because of us having to win some short yardage downs, and I knew this going into the game, that we were going to have to do some personnel changing, probably a little bit more than I really wanted to do. But because of their defensive front, we had to try to create mismatches with either motions or personnel groupings, some misdirection things to win those short yardage downs. And I thought that slowed us down a little bit. But as far as going in and huddling and really trying to take the air out of the ball, I mean that's hard. When you're an up-tempo team to come in and to huddle up and do those things, that's hard to do. I mean, what you find is you make more mistakes when you try to slow way down, and that's not who we are. But there is such thing as letting the clock tick down to 12 and snap the ball or whatever. But I tried to do that with motions and personnel groupings but it's a great point.
You think it's fair for people to say you might have gotten away from the run a little too early during those 3 critical drives you're talking about?
Going back and looking at those drives, I remember one of them in particular was a first down play call that we had a pass call. We felt like that they were going to go into they'd shown to maybe give us something on the weak side, maybe get the ball to Nuke. So I chose to pass it on first down, where one of the things we were doing is I was heavy run on first down. So I thought, well, maybe it's just a chess match. And then second down we did run it, and Taj pulled one of them, and we picked up 4 or 5, and then we threw it on third down. So I guess you can look back on it and say that. That first down play call, I wish I'd have ran it. That was a bad call. I mean, they stayed in 2 high look. I was anticipating a 1 high look, and that was a bad call. That was on me. I don't think that we got away from the run too quick. I don't. I mean, that series we may have. But again, at that point, you're just trying to, you make a move, I make a move. You make a move, I make a move. You try to guess what the next move is and try to stay a step ahead. I thought that they were extremely physical in the secondary. I thought they out-physicaled our wide receivers. I thought they beat us up. And they disrupted us. And I thought that was a glaring, after watching video. Didn't mean our guys didn't play hard. It just means they were more physical than we were. And that's something we take great pride in.
Did you feel good about the number of touches Sammy had, or you wish maybe he had a little few more?
Well, he had 6 catches for 25 yards, and they were extremely disruptive on Sammy. They were very physical with Sammy. Sammy spent some time on the ground, you know, and whether it's slipping or getting rerouted. They had 6 catches, and usually, you know, 6 catches is a pretty good night for a receiver. You know, we'd like to got him more. We had several others called to him that he was disrupted, and we had to go to our second and third read. So, you know, we probably, in the end, had 8 to 10 passes, well, probably 12 passes called to him. 6 of them he actually got to. And then others that got him for whatever the deal, the coverage was, it maybe got Taj off of him. Like I said, he got rerouted. And then, you know, so the only other way we were able to get him the ball without is trying to get him in the ball and give him to him in the run game, in which I thought he was very effective in.
Do you feel like you have to focus some of your efforts this week on refocusing your guys' effort onto Boston College? I mean, there was some disappointment last weekend, but I mean, the game Saturday is not going away.
No, it's not going to go away. And you know, do I feel like we got to sit and have a major focus on getting our guys ready for Boston College? Absolutely not. I mean, our guys are going to be ready to play. The season, you lose a game. The season's not over with. Every goal that we've set for this football team and for this offense is still attainable. Every one of them. There's a lot of football left to be played, and so it's, you know, we just can't with a veteran group. You know, you got to be able to put this one behind you. You got to learn from it. You got to grow from it, and hey, you got to be able to go to the next one and perform. You can't let one loss cost you another one.
With the variety of Sammy such, is that something you'd like to see going forward? The way when they march in different ways you can get involved?
Well, I think that's my job. I mean, my job is to try to get the ball in the playmaker's hands in whichever way possible and be as creative as possible about it. So, absolutely, if they're being disrupted for him in the second, and you know, from the secondary part of it and rerouting him, then I've got to find other ways to get him the ball and make him, you know, and utilize his talent. And so, you know, I think now with Sammy having 2 games underneath his belt, this being his 3rd game, I think, you know, you're going to start seeing him get more into playing shape and being ready. I thought that their depth Saturday night was and I mentioned that, their quality depth was I think that it allowed them to stay fresh late in the game when those 3 or 4 series in there, and when they needed the most. They had the crowd back in the game. You know, they just hit the kickoff return, score, and so it was a bang bang, and there was a lot of momentum, a lot of you know, they definitely had Uncle Mo on their sidelines at that point. And so you know, we were just trying to do something to get some things reeling at that point, but they were able to rotate some fresh legs in there.
Chad, you did some good things to get some yards out of the rush the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive to watch. But can you talk about between the tackles? Your 2 running backs were 15 for 45, which obviously you're looking for more than that. But there wasn't a lot between the tackles. Can you talk about that?
Well, we knew that, though. You know, Bart going in, those guys were again, the size they had, they were very big up front. That was the strength of their football team. I mean, their defensive ends, obviously their secondary, but you know, there wasn't many weaknesses that those guys had. And we knew we were going to have to be creative. We knew we were going to have to give a lot of misdirection and be able to try to slow the linebacker play down, keep them, what I call, stick their cleats in the ground, freeze their eyes, and get the ball out on the edge. And then, then in the same sense, get them flowing and come back in the middle. And I think you saw us do that. We had, I think Sammy had a couple of 12, 13-yard runs inside the red zone, and that's really unheard of. You don't really gash people inside the red zone between the tackles. And we were able to do that because we were able, a lot of misdirection. When you account, I think, Andre had carried 14 times, Taj carried it 18 times, but some of those were scrambles and pull down and keeping drives alive. But true called quarterback runs, I think he had 5 or 6, which were effective. But, we knew that, you weren't going to be able to line up and just, knock them off the ball and run dead at them.
That was more about Florida State than about what you, in other words.
I was
other
extremely
opponents-
proud of our offensive line. I'm going to tell you that
Yeah.
right now. I was pleased with those guys. Now, again, did we play effective at the guard position as we wanted to? No. Did Tyler Shatley, was he 100% healthy? Absolutely not. But he's a battler, and he was playing, and it may not have been quite 100%. Beasley, same way. Kaylon Davis came in, had to spell him some, but those guys never fought and gave up. So I knew we had to be we were going to be effective both running in and out. But,
Was Kalen the only reserve that played on the offense?
yes, I believe that's right.
Just maybe like a handful of snaps that he
Yeah, I
got?
think that's right. Yeah, I think he had 12.
Yeah.
I didn't go back with my notes, but that's about 12 snaps, I think. Came in and did a good job. He did. He came in and did a really good job.
How long have y'all been waiting to make this move there? Is this something that's been in the works for a while?
Oh, with Eric, it's something that, we'd obviously talked about for a while, but, it was just going to kind of be, the right time and now to make that move and let Eric be, because he's such an athlete, when you move him into the offensive line, his athleticism really stands out, where if you kept him out on the edge and receiver, you didn't really see that. So we're excited about Eric. You just don't take a guy and put him in there and say, okay, here you go, here's a playbook, go learn it, you're ready to go. I mean, playing that position, it may very well take all year. It may take all year and all spring. I mean, you just don't know. But what we do know is if we make that move right now and he can get in there and go through the meetings, get reps in practice, and hopefully you'll be in a situation one time to where he's able to go in and be able to see him in live action.
Let Sammy struggle with the physical nature of the game, because he's a big guy.
Because those guys were pressing us up. They were in our face.
Is he
I
not
mean,
used to
hey,
this?
let's call it like it is. I mean, it was all of them. It wasn't just Sammy. It was all of them. They were very disruptive. And that was their plan. Their plan was that I'm going to play 2 behind you, 2 high safety behind you. You're not going to get behind us. And those guys you're going to put out there, we're going to get in their face. We're not scared of them. And that was their plan going in. And we're going to stop the run with the guys we got in the box. We got confidence in our guys. We got enough depth up front. So that was their plan going in. And so we had to do a lot of drags, over routes, and we had to try to win some battles. And we won a few. We did. We did win. But they were very disruptive. And they had hands on a lot of balls, hands on a lot of receivers, and it was a challenge for our guys.
If they can just slow that up a little bit, then the timing's gone and he's got to go
Sure.
second guy, third guy.
Well,
whatever.
especially because if there was a situation, it was on I think it was a 2nd down call. We have the right call. We have the right call against that defense. All we had to do, if we win, if we can win off the line of scrimmage, we got an opportunity for a possible big play. And we didn't win off the line of scrimmage. They were disruptive. They put a hand in our face, and we couldn't get off the ball. Well, we got off the ball late, and now the pressure is being put on Taj, and Taj is pulling the ball down and running. So if you're going to play that, you've got to have the athletes to match against it, because I feel like our receiving corps is one of the best in the country. There's no doubt about that. And their secondary was very physical.
You'll see a lot more of that now, right? You'll see a lot more teams.
I feel like we will. I mean, sure. I feel like you will. I mean, you better have the guys to be able to do it. You can line up and get in their face, and we love that all day long, but you better have the guys that can match them on the back end.
Yeah.
And you better be able to stop the run. So, again, they've got a very good football team. I mean, you got to give them credit. They do. They got a very good football team.
The difference, it seemed like the difference just watching the game and trying to keep up with everything. Usually when you come out in your set, you see defenses kind of scrambling around and everybody's looking at everybody else trying to figure. Didn't see that so much with these guys. They would watch you line up and not a lot of motion in their defensive backfield and stuff.
Well, their plan was, they were gonna man you up, and so there's not a whole lot of adjustments to that.
Right.
I do think that we had them slowed down. Yeah, there's no doubt. You watch film, and you had their linebackers slowed down, and had a lot of misdirection. It was making some of their keys lie to them, which we're able to get the ball out on the edge at times. But when you're a man with a 2 deep secondary, you don't have to do a whole lot. I mean, you just, where's your guy? There he is. I go line up. I don't care what everybody else does.
Did you have
if he
4
goes in motions, I'm gonna run with him.
Did you have 4 3-and-outs in this game, or was it 2?
I think we had. I want to say I know 3 for sure. There might have been a 4th. I don't think we did. The thing that I'm very proud of our players about is the fact that, especially, and again, you go back to those three series right there, but for the most part, you kept matching every time. We would score and they scored, then we'd go mad. We'd either go hit a touchdown or we'd go down and hit a field goal, and that was, you were really proud to see that. I mean, that tells you a lot when you go on the road and you're able to go down and match scoring opportunity, and so our guys, said we got a very good football team, but we learned a valuable lesson. You're going to learn out of this, and you're going to grow, and you're going to keep moving forward. But hey, I'm proud of our guys, and it just proved that, hey, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. And but this season's not a wash. I mean, heck, we're going to load up and we're going to go to Boston College this next week, and we got to go perform, and we can't let one loss lead to another.
Did it surprise your receivers that did it surprise Nuke and them that Florida State was more physical than they were?
Well, I think it surprised them that they pressed them most of the night. I do, and was playing as physical with them up front. I think it did. I mean, again, it was. I just think that they did. They played more physical than we did, and that's something we take great pride in. And so, I mean, we're not going to kick them off team or nothing like that, obviously, but we're, they saw it, we saw it, and we're going to prepare for it, and they're going to be, they'll be ready to go. But I'm not coming here and say that they played, that was the best game they played, because it wasn't. They spent too much time on the ground.
We talked about how the depth and physicalness wore your receivers out. Would you like to see more from Martavis and Sharon at least? It seemed like they didn't have a lot of contributions there.
Well, they didn't, they did. They probably could have played a little bit more. But a game of that magnitude, and maybe that would have kept some legs fresh, a little bit more fresh late in the game. I mean, it's hard to say, but when you're in a game like that and you're reeling and you're scrambling and you're trying to, when you start looking at the opportunities when you had it, maybe they could have played a little earlier in the game. That might have given them some fresher legs late in the game. But those last 3-4 series in there, you want your guys out there. You want your starters out there. I was very proud of the fact that our guys, could have gave in, and hey, we go back and have 11-play drive, score a touchdown, we get an opportunity to kick. If we recover the onside kick, who knows? We may score again with it. But again, I go back. I am proud of our guys for the way they play. I am, and but losing's not an option. I mean, we're not excited about losing by no means, but we're going to learn from it. But they fought hard, and there's a lot of things we can do to get better with.
Heat of battle, were there any things internally that were problems you thought bubble up, offense, defense? No. Heck, heat of battle, we're just over there trying to figure out what your next series opener, what you're going to do. I mean, no, that ain't, not at all. How about your ability to maintain your cool and be able to focus? Is that tested in a game like this?
Hey, no. I mean, to maintain as long as I got plenty of chewing gum and peppermints, I'm in good shape over there. I mean, hey, we're going to put them in a great situation to be successful, and you just got to go make the plays, and we got to go be successful. We got to operate and execute the system and work the game plan. And, that's when you got 2 really good football teams going at each other, those things are going to happen. I mean, you're going to get hit in the mouth, and you may get your nose bloody. but you gotta get back up, and here you go again.
But over time, when how things have played out over the last year and a half or so, when the offense is playing so well and the defense is struggling, can there be potential for guys to start kind of clashing in the locker room?
No, we got such a great relationship, but let me go back. I mean, you know, I'm trying to read into a lot of these questions you guys are asking, and it's very unfair. But let me say this: my job here is to score more points than the other team has. Period.
Anything else?
That it?
It seems like a good place to end it.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it is. I mean, and I don't be ugly, but you know what I'm talking. I know exactly what you're asking. But no, our guys are, you know, they are going to battle and fight and scratch, and you know,